That moment I remember that I was falling from a great height. I fell into hell. I only saw darkness and fire, terrible place where I witnessed many people known from the earth. I saw my neighbor who was a pastor. He died with much remorse of the evil he did in the past, yet he never got rid of it, and he took 10 meds and rays a week. He was an ex-criminal who did so much harm that his conscience grew heavy. He did not forgive himself and believed that Jesus had never forgiven his sins. He died and was in hell inside a pit of fire. In this place of tremendous torment I recognized a boy from my street. He was a different Christian because he was troublesome. He had a mental retardation, but God gave him grace to understand the word. But the young people treated him as a special person who deserves care for trouble. He did not accept himself and wanted to be different. He had cut his wrists with his knife and bled to death. He was inside a prison cell that burned his body, causing him to moan and scream. I met a woman who worked with me in a shoe store. This woman was dating the shop owner. They were engaged, but the businessman broke the engagement with her. This woman saw her life projects fail without the businessman. She hanged herself with a rope, and when she came to hell the demons hanged her with a bow full of thorns. She cried to the point of sobbing. I passed a cell where I witnessed a man who was rich on the earth. This man, when he was alive, bought a factory and invested a lot of money. Later his factory went bankrupt. He was depressed and shot himself in the head. He landed in hell. He's in a torture room in hell. I saw an old man being crushed by a giant demons that trod on his body. This old man was a church elder. He was self-condemned for letting his wife die in the past. He's been carrying that weight for decades and never freed himself from remorse, until one day he threw himself off the 2nd floor and broke his bones as he fell to the ground. After killing himself he landed in hell. In hell I passed a place where I saw a homosexual man who was rejected by his family. He suffered prejudice from society. As a result he threw himself in front of a car. The demons with their blades ripped off his skin and his genitals. They said, "You do not need it. You never used it." Same thing with lesbians. They plucked out their genitals and said, "You have despised your femininity." The devils left only the skeleton to be stripped from head to toe. I went to another place and saw a man burning in flames. His body felt like burning ember. He was handicapped in one arm and could not work. This man killed himself by taking caustic soda. When I associated the facts I realized that everyone there had killed himself. I realized I was in the suicide valley. The demons sliced meats of the people in that place. I saw my mother suffering in hell. She died of cirrhosis. I no longer lived with her. The demons made her drink all the acid that broke her stomach. I was in horror to see my mother in this place.